So, good morning, everyone. Um, the book that I'm reviewing today is I'm Hema Damani, and I love reading books and mostly fiction. The stories शुरू से बचपन से पसंद है तो yeah. In the book that I'm reviewing today is The Forest of Enchantments by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. And she has of late been one of my favorite authors. मुझे उसका work बहुत पसंद आता है. So I'll just start directly from the book itself and then थोड़ा सा author के बारे में. So the book starts with a prologue, and in that the Valmiki ji, Sita is in Valmiki ashram, and Valmiki has been writing the Ramayana. Okay, and after he finishes, he gives it to Sita. That first I want you to read it. Sita reads it and then she says, but this is not my story. How have you written it? You were not there when I was in the Ashok one, which was the darkest part of my life. You have not seen my despair. And also you have not seen my happiness when I met Ram, when I got married to him, when I was in jungle, even though when I was in jungle, but I was alone with Ram. I had time with Ram. So even I was very happy there. I was very happy when I came back to Ayodhya. Because at that time, I was the most beloved woman in this creation. So you don't know anything. So he says, but I have written only what came into my vision. I was given that vision. So the Sita says that then that vision must have come to you through a god and not a goddess. Right? So Valmiki says, because this is not my story. So Valmiki says, why don't you write your own story? He gives her the leaf sheets and ink and all that, and he asks her to write. And she sits down to write Sitayan. As she sits down to write, again, very beautiful thing, visions come to her. But the visions are from the women. Which women? See, the Kakeyi, Ahilya, Surpanakha, Mandodari, Urmila. These women, they come to her and they say that write our story also. Right? Because we have been 4 centuries, because of the books that have been written, Ramayana has been written, as you see, always by men. Right? So you have written, who has written Ramayana, they have been, like we have been pushed into corners. Right? Trivialized, misunderstood, blamed, most importantly, forgotten. So this is actually the crux of most of Chitra Banerjee's books, because she has given voice to the women whose stories are often not told or they are distorted. Okay? So basic story of Sita, we know. Right? We know the Ramayana story, we know that. So I'll just go about a few other things. First, story of these women. First, Urmila. She is the unsung hero, you can say, because she, for 14 years, she had the toughest job to wait and to worry. Okay, we know there are a lot of stories that, okay, Nidra Devi, she gave Urmila Lakshman share of sleep. Lakshman said, I don't want to sleep for 14 years because I have to protect my brother and my bhabhi. So, her share of sleep, Nidra Devi gives to Urmila, and she sleeps for 14 years. We know these stories, that's okay. But we don't know the pain, Urmila having been left behind and then not remembered at all anywhere. Not mentioned also. The second person, Ahilya. Right? Her story is again very painful and in many ways similar to Sita. She was punished for something that she had not done. She was not even given a hearing by a husband who so-called loved her so much. Rishi. And Rishis are supposed to be wise. They are supposed to be forgiving. But no, she was not even given a chance to explain. Immediately she was given a punishment. So when she was liberated by Ram and she went back to live with Gautam, Rishi Gautam, Sita meets her in this book and she asks, how don't you feel the pain? She says, I know. And well, if I have forgiven, but forgiving becomes very difficult where love is. एक हम किसी ने हमसे कुछ ना सड़क पे गाली वो हमको कुछ बोल दिया टक्कर लगा के हम उससे 2 मिनट शायद झगड़ के एंड देन वील फॉरगेट हमको बिकॉज वी आर नॉट अटैच्ड और कनेक्टेड टू दैट पर्सन बट व्हेन योर समवन हु इज क्लोज टू यू हु यू लव दैट पर्सन हर्ट्स यू mistrust then it becomes very difficult forgive maybe forget becomes difficult right then comes surpankhा अगेन जिसको हम ब्लेम करते हैं कई बार कि ये कारण है कि रावण ने इसको ये बट हैव वी सीन अगेन फ्रॉम द वुमेन्स शी वाज अ राक्षसी अ पर्सन ऑफ द जंगल हु हैव completely different laws and ways of living as compared to a civilized world. So she did what was natural to her. She saw Ram, she was attracted and she said, "Are you accept me?" Ram said, "No, I cannot." But instead of, just telling her to go away, they are now joking with her, like, teasing her. How? Ram says, "Why don't you ask my brother, Lakshman? He is available." Lakshman says, "No, I can't. You ask him only." So they are, sending her between, like making fun of her, this thing. That's what got her enraged and she attacked Sita. And what did Lakshman do? Just for this, they were warriors. They could have just scared her away. Just, that. But uska naak aur kaan kaat liya, which at that time, for any woman, it would be a very shameful thing to bear. So again, अगर हम blaming का काम करने जाए तो then there is no end to it, right? And then eventually it all comes down to the way the Leela thi, this was bound to happen because Ravan has to be killed. But from a woman's perspective, okay. Similarly, Mandodari, again, no fault of hers, but she lost her son, her entire clan, the whole city, everything is destroyed just because her husband, again, who claims to love her, but he was infatuated by another. So this is the story which comes recurring again and again throughout. And this is how we understand that how women are to be portrayed. Sita in this, a common thread hai in this, which is contributed, I will say, to by the author, that throughout the book she is giving that Sita understands the different nature of love as she grows and into different situations. For example, when Janak she hears the story when she grows up, that how she was found by Janak, and instead of Janak, just giving it to someone else to raise, he takes her home because he's childless. So she realized that love, it can be something which fulfills your craving. His craving was for a child. So love, uska wo craving khatam kar diya. So that was the first time. When she meets Ram, she sees Ram for the first time and she feels that connect. So at that time, she sees that love is wild and that's how she feels. Then, very important, very beautiful. And she's in the palace of Ayodhya and she's dealing between the Dashrath's 3 wives and all the palace politics going on. And then she realizes over there through her actions that the more love we distribute, the more it grows and the more we get it back. So this is, there are some beautiful lines which I think I enjoyed. Similarly, when she compares the love between her parents, that is Janak and Sunaina, which is very mature kind of a love, and the love between Dashrath and Kaikeyi, which is obsessive kind of a love, which does not even see the right and wrong, right? So she says that love is contradictory. Sometimes the person you love weakens you, and sometimes that person makes you stronger. So this is something which is very beautiful. And another thing that she realizes that when Bharat, who loved his mother, obviously Kaikeyi, but after all that saga which happened, Vanvas and everything, then he is full of hate and disgust for his mother, same mother. So she thinks that can love also be so frail, immediately breaking up. So these are the things which are going on and she's thinking. But then she says, after she has love and kush, that the most purest form of love is between a mother and her child or her children. Because they can think of nothing else except that, except caring for each other and doing the best for each other, both the sides, the child and the mother. Then, very important lesson, when Sita was giving the Agni Pariksha, yes, Ram refused to take Sita back. He said, I have rescued you in this book. She said, now you are free to go because you have stayed in Lanka and I cannot take you back because what will people say? They will say you are tainted. So Sita says, I have nowhere to go. मैं अग्नि प्रवेश कर जाती हूँ and I leave this world. But when she enters the Agni, she says, the pain I felt. And because, again, Ram, who confesses and who knows that, who says, I love you, but still does not trust, the same thing as Ahilya. And she has to go through an Agni Pariksha for that. And the pain and the thing that she felt before Agni protected her and brought her out and said, no, she is pure. Then Agni says to her at that time that both you and Ram are here on this earth for a mission. So your mission is not yet over. Ram has come to teach men the ways of life, and you have come to teach women something, a message you have to give, which is very subtle but very important. And Sita realizes that at the last moment, when after Lavkush are taken back, accepted by Ram, and then he asks Sita to come back. But he says, before you become my queen again, here in Ayodhya, you have to give out another Agni Pariksha. So Sita, she refuses. She said, if I do this now, in future, what will happen is that the society will use my action now to judge every woman always. Even if they are not guilty, the burden of proving their innocence will fall on women, which sadly is happening. Women have to prove their innocence. The culprits, they don't have to, do anything. वो तो करके निकल जाते. So that is the beauty, and that is why she says, I am not going to do the Agni Pariksha again. And she prays to Mother Earth and to Agni, she says is now my father, because Agni's Pariksha se wo nikli thi. So she says, she invokes him, and Darsi mein samaj aate hain, which we all know. The beauty of the story, again, as we all can see, that first of all, women's story told. Their side of the expectations, the frustration, pain, hurt, despair, love, everything, their forms, it comes out of this. And most importantly, Sita is to teach us that to stand up for ourselves, and especially when we are right, we have not done anything. To brave, to endure. And what it means to endure, it doesn't mean giving in. It doesn't mean being weak, right? Or accepting injustice. It means taking up the challenges thrown at us and dealing with them intelligently and strongly until we grow stronger than the challenges. Wow.